Hi guys, it's Ash. I just wanted to give an update. I haven't talked to you guys in 2 weeks since I was stimulating, and a lot's happened since then, obviously, right? So they decided on Saturday before the Tuesday that my stimulation was done, and that I would take the shots the last day on Saturday, and then I would take my trigger shot on Sunday at 9:30, and I would do my egg retrieval on Tuesday, Valentine's Day, February the 14th. So I was super excited about that love day. What better day can your babies be conceived on? You know, you're happy with any day once you're this far along, you know. But, so they retrieved a total of 34 eggs. Ridiculous. I got PCOS, so they just grow like crazy in there. 24 of them were mature. 23 or 24. I got it on my paper. Anyways, they fertilized all of them. 15 of them fertilized abnormally, and 8 fertilized normally. So the next day they went back to look at them, and the ones that fertilized abnormally, where they did not see them fertilize like you normally would, they were growing and dividing just like the other 8 were. So she called me that day and let me know about the situation. She said they were going to continue to watch them. Be happy because we have 8, no matter what happens with those other 15. You know, everything's great. You know, so I was like, okay, you know, of course I wanted all 15 of the other ones to make it, you know. So Friday they called and said that 12 were left out of that 15. They were still dividing, and the 8 were still growing just like they were before. And that she suggested genetic testing because of the abnormal fertilization. So I said, well, how much is it? That's going to be the key. How much is the PGD testing? Because if it's too much, I can't afford it. At a certain point, I have to trust God, you know. So I said, if you let me know how much it is, I would like to do it, but it depends on how much it is. So she called me back, and I called the other company that they actually, the ones that actually test, not just the biopsy. And the biopsying comes from the Jones Institute. So I did that. So needless to say, on Sunday, there were 4 left out of the abnormal 15 that had made it to blastocyst. I didn't know that they graded blastocyst when they made it to there. I just thought that was great. That's where they want them to be. They were like 4 CD. They were on the lower end, but they still made it to blastocyst. Now the 8 normal, I had 5 that made it to blastocyst. The 2 best looking ones, they transferred on Sunday, that Sunday, the 19th. And then I had 1 to freeze that day, and then they waited 1 more day till Monday and froze the other 2 that they were looking at. So I had a total of 5 normal embryos that fertilized normal. So then they froze the other 4 embryos that made it to blastocyst, but those are pending the biopsies, whether they will transfer them or not, and whether they're okay. So totally I have 7 left over of the embryos from this IVF cycle, which I'm super excited about. We did implant 2 on that Sunday. It was really neat. I am going to make a video of all the steps in between with the pictures and stuff that we took. Just getting together. I just want it to be perfect. It was really neat that we got to watch them under the microscope move around. They had a big screen in the procedure room, and we got to watch them, and they would chase each other around, touch each other like they were kissing, and then move back around in the petri dish. It was really cute and amazing. It was just amazing to see human life at a cellular level. It's just awesome, which I'm a nurse and I love science, and it was just amazing to me. And to see my sweet little babies up there on the screen, you know, not everybody gets that chance to see their baby at literally 5 days old. So that day I went home, was on bed rest, just to get up and pee, and that's it. My husband and son took really good care of me. It was really nice being waited on. So I ate warm soup, ate warm food that day, kept my feet warm, sat around with blankets. Um, I didn't eat any implantation food. I didn't want to keep stressing myself out over little things. I can see keeping the thing warm because I know your blood shunts from other areas and your reproductive organs are first when stuff are cold and not flowing right. It's 100% proven I know that's how it works. But those other foods aren't proven. I think they help you relax and give you a little control over the situation, because during this you have absolutely no control. Your body does what it's going to do and you have to trust God for it. So what I looked at it was me trusting God, the creator of the universe that created me inside my mother's body and that protected my embryos and helped them grow in the lab for 5-6 days and took care of the ones that didn't fertilize normally and still made them grow. He can make them grow inside of me if that's what he chooses to do. So that's what I focused on. Then let me go eat some pineapple. Let me eat avocado. Let me eat nuts. Those are things that I realized that, yes, I can control those things. But at the end of the day, I have no control over what goes on down here. So, I just relaxed. No stress that day. No stress. I'm trying my best not to stress over this 2-week wait. I think that's another reason I didn't make a video, because I just really didn't want to talk about it. Even though it's all you think about. I've talked to my family, of course, but so I wanted to test from last Friday on. I already told my doctor that I was going to cheat. I mean, she knows it. We have a really good relationship. But, so I did test a little earlier than that, and of course it was negative, which I didn't expect it to be positive, but if it was, it would be a great, because they'd only been in there for 4 days. There's no way that they could send off enough hormones to make the test positive. So I think I tested one more time after that, and then I waited. I waited till 8 days post-transfer. And I left it sitting in the bathroom. I waited a couple minutes and it didn't show anything. So I was like, all right, whatever. It's not technically, according to research, most of the time, it doesn't pick up in your urine till day 12. So I wasn't going to stress over it. I mean, I knew that in some cases, their HC beta levels when they went to the doctor were over 200 and it didn't show on a urine stick. So I couldn't sit there and do that to myself. So I waited till day 8. And then I went back into the bathroom. I don't know if you can see it because it's so faint, but there is a line there. I was like, oh my God, it's a freaking miracle. So I was so excited because you could see it. But these are the little cheap tests, So I was like, okay, well, I think I'm freaking pregnant. But it had been like 20 minutes, and they say not to look at it after 20 minutes. So I was like, I'm going to say it is. So I was super excited. So I was like, well, when I get up in the morning, I'll take another test. And we'll see then. I said, I'm taking them with these cheapo tests. Because that early, I didn't want to waste the good test, which when I was testing super early, I did use the first response. So I tested again. This was the 8-day one. You can see it there a lot better now. And then this was the next morning, and you can see the line again. I wanted to crap my pants. I was so freaking excited. And then I called my mama and I was like, I said, these tests are the 88-cent test. I'm going to go buy another first response and take it. Because, you're just like, I wanted to make sure it's really reading like it's supposed to. So, I went to Food Line after I dropped my son off at school. And I got a first response. Now, when you're testing this early, a lot of times when you wait till you're not trying to get pregnant and you wait a couple months because you hadn't had your period in 2 months, it's going to show up instantly. These, you have to set your alarm on your phone and stop looking at it and set your alarm for 4 minutes and do not look at that stick until the 4 minutes is up. That's what I figured out. So I don't know if you can see it. I'm not, but there's a line there. Super excited. So thankful to God. So this morning, I took another one. I take one every morning. I take one every morning until Friday when I go to get my blood drawn. And you can see it again. And it's a little darker today. So technically today is 10 days post-transfer. And I'm showing up pregnant since day 8 post-transfer. I'm super thankful, and I just won't cry. I've never seen a positive pregnancy test. I just pray that they stick. I'm just so happy. We've tried for so long. I can't believe it. So on to the happy part. I know God's not going to leave me after bringing me this far. So I picked out a lot of stuff from my registry. I thought that would make me laugh. My mom seems to think I'm going to be pregnant with twins, which I hope I am. It would be wonderful. So I picked out a registry with twin stuff. I had been looking for a while, because I just had a feeling I knew that the IVF would work. It may not work the first transfer, but I just knew deep down that it would work. So I am super excited and thankful. And I'm going to make a pregnancy symptom video next after this one, because I've been rambled on for 12 minutes and 45 seconds. So, and I will say that with my egg transfer, it didn't hurt. The speculum that they put in to open your vagina up was a different one that I've never had at any other doctor's office. It was kind of painful. I don't know if it was just from the egg retrieval that my vagina was sore or what, but it just wasn't comfortable at all, worse than normal. And then I didn't feel anything go in my cervix. I had a little bit of cramping and a little bit of twinging feeling in there after, but that was it. I didn't really have any. I didn't have any pain from that. I did have pain from my egg retrieval. My egg retrieval, they gave me the Tylenol with the codeine, and that totally helped. My stomach was just sore. Like, it wasn't like sore to the point where I couldn't move, but if I moved a certain way, I could feel it. And it was just uncomfortable. That's all. But other than that, it was great. It was all worth it. I was high on my anesthesia medicine. And I'm a nurse. So I've worked in the neuro ICU for a long time, and you have to have their blood pressures controlled so tightly. And we have to give them a lot of blood pressure medicine to keep it down. Most of the time, a lot of them are in there for hemorrhagic strokes anyways, bleeding on the brain. So you don't want to cause any more bleeding. So a lot of times they do like 5 milligrams of low pressure every 5 minutes until their pressure is where they want their range to be. She said when I was waking up, because my pressure has been high since I've been stimulating, so I had to end up going on metoprolol, which is safe for the baby. And she said, I'm going to give you 5 milligrams of metoprolol. And I'm like, okay. I said, but it's not going to work. You might as well give me 20. And I passed back out. She told me that after and got so tickled at myself. She's like, no, you don't need it. It just went down to 130. But as soon as I got back out of the procedure room, it was back up to 150. She said, well, maybe you were right. I maybe should have gave you 20 so it would stay down. I got so tickled. I was like, well, Lord Jesus, ain't no telling what else I told her. But my nurse, her name was Patty. She was absolutely amazing. They, at the Jones Institute, made me feel very, very comfortable. They were very professional, still have a relationship with me where I can feel comfortable and joke and play because that's who I am. But they are great. My doctor is awesome. I wouldn't, the Lord has put me in her hands and it's just worked out perfectly. I can't wait to go and for her to call me and give me that result on Friday. I can't wait to see what my beta numbers are. But we'll see on Friday. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.